to today's show. My name is Brenda Bates, Medicine Woman, and this is Medicine Women Reveal. And I'm hoping that the audio and the sound seems to work. I'm not sure exactly all that's going on. And with me tonight is...
I'm Jen Toffel, Medicine Woman.
And my husband, which is the apprentice, Scott Bates. He'll be back in momentarily.
He's helping out with our technology, making sure that's coming together.
And if you hear us all in the chat room, could you just wave or let us know that you do hear us? That would be great. That'd be very thankful. From what I can tell, everything looks like it's picking up our voices. Not sure if y'all can hear it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick reading of why it seems like we have nothing but technical difficulty when we want to do the show. I'm still not sure exactly what happens. And of course, the deck I'm using is Colette Baron Reed, the Enchanted Map. I drew number 14, but it's in reverse, and it's called Ride the Wave. Now, as far as it being reversed, it says you may be mistaken a rogue wave for a fun ride. You can only coast for so long before you hit the shoreline with a smack. The tide is ebbing, and your activities are now preparing you for when that wonderful wave comes in for you to ride. You are meant to learn how to be a strong swimmer now. That makes sense. So if we, let's just like when you're learning anything, you have a curve. I got a brand new phone, and free is good, but it's a Droid, and it has a lot of complications that seem to come with it. Nah, not complications. It is learning to interface, because I don't have a pathway for the Droid, and I'm learning, okay, so, on button usually means on, or talk, as we're pushing the talk. No, it has a touchscreen. You actually have to slide. So there's all these different ways of learning how to work. And so we're learning to become strong swimmers when it comes to doing this show. For the simple fact is we're learning all the little ins and outs. There's this piece, that piece, and the other, but it's all going to be worth it. It's just when that comes up, what do you do? Do you have your pattern down pat? Do you have to worry and fret? Do you have to go ballistic? No. It says, don't worry. Preparation ensures a successful result. And that's what we're doing, is we're building all these pathways of being able to not only to make it go with the flow, but to be able to know when it's upsetting. We can find out how we react, heal what we need to.
It reminds me of learning how to swim in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fun, it looks exciting, it can also be overwhelming. You can't just go walk into the ocean and just start swimming. Because of the waves, you actually have to get into the rhythm of it, and my stepsister actually gave me a hint of, instead of just having the wave keep smacking you in the face, you actually hold your breath while the wave goes, and you can go through the wave. Oh. And so it's learning all those ways to work with the environment that you're in, so that you don't have to get smacked, you don't have to get taken under. And then she would hold my hand to make sure that we would ride the wave together, so that neither one of us would get lost from each other.
Yeah, and to finish it up, it says, however, you must wait patiently for the right moment to come. Now is the time for conscious preparation and skill building. And that's exactly what we've been doing, so the card has confirmed it. Now, if you have like a reading, if you're in the chat room, you just say, I'd like a reading. You can say a general reading, or if you have a specific question. If you would like to call in, we do have a phone number. I will see if I can remember at the top of my head, 989-945-0287.
Yep.
And if you would like to call in, you're more than welcome to. It is calling into Skype. So as we start to move forward, this is, what is today, Monday? No.
Monday the 27th.
Oh, it is
Monday.
We are starting a new week. Okay,
Yes.
I've just done another radio show, and I felt like another day or a week's gone by. Okay, so what are we going to do? There's what they call the blue moon or the full moon, and there's a lot of energy intensity. And what is it seems to be the common factor as we start to finish out this month? What is the common factor that people have to look at or address? It says flying. And so that's number 20. And it refers to as you have the power to see things from a higher perspective. And that is having extra energy flow through so that you can allow yourself to be in a spiritual state of mind, so that you can allow yourself to understand on the quantum physics level what is going on. And that is one thing that we teach around here, is to understand the quantum laws of attraction when it comes to living this day in life in this era of time. So I'm going to finish reading the card. If you were a bird flying high in the air, what would you see? When you soar above life's challenges and opportunities, a new perspective becomes available. Today you have invisible wings that allows you to swiftly bring your circumstances into alignment with your highest purpose. This is a sign that your waiting is over, that all your hard work has paid off, and the things you hoped for no longer beyond your scope. You have the ability to reach the stars and find one with your name on it. Spread your wings and soar. The angels are waiting for you. I would say yes. Like, I was never thinking I was going to get a new phone, especially a Droid. And free's good. But I was just rather shocked about how it came in. And then we've been trying to sell our one car out here, and it just got sold. And we're like, oh, that was kind of unexpected because we've been trying to sell it. And it was an awesome Mercedes. It was a leftover from the estate. But, again, you know, how do you know when things are coming? My daughter is signing up for her classes. My son's going into senior year this year.
Yes.
And
Is it senior already?
Yes.
so learning to...
How'd that happen?
That's what I say. But learning to the shift, it's, you know, this is always that time of year when new things start to begin, or going back into old routine. It's like the partying is done now. But you can allow yourself to achieve much if you don't allow yourself to see everything as negative. And when people call in or they set an appointment or classes, they'll say, oh my God, this bad thing happened today and I just can't make sense of it. And that's our jobs, is to tell you, because your soul is projecting it for you. You may as well understand why is your soul doing that. You know, it's not there to hurt you. It's just that there are things that you know, but you don't know how you know, and that's where we come in to help you. So, Jen, you had a vision quest this weekend that deliberately forced you to pay attention to, are you going to, we have archetypes, and we all have the same 4 archetypes, and one is a prostitute, one is a saboteur, one is a victim, and one's a child. And if the child is learning to, if you look at the extremes of what it has to learn to take care of itself, learn how it can fulfill its own necessities. The saboteur is not to stop yourself from receiving good stuff, and when you have to have the courage to step into things, especially when you don't know how to do them. Like this learning curve that we're doing with getting the radio show going. You know, we're trusting that Mark is going to walk us through as best he can.
Rewalk us if need be.
Right, but that's his job, and he knows it.
Yes, we're doing it
But
right
he's
now.
given us the confidence, and that's what you do when you help a child. Well,
And being patient as we're learning.
and self-sabotage is, what if you're scared to be on air? It's amazing how we can actually sabotage things without even consciously being aware of it. And then the prostitute is to sell yourself short. I've learned many times how I have cut myself up and out of saying, oh, I don't need to have that behavior because people don't like it, and I better not act this way, and you know, and that's all based on a program as a child that I wanted my mother to love me and not to abandon me. All she did was go to work. You know, I'm 2 years old, you know, Dad's leaving the house, she's got 5 kids to take care of, she's got to take it and get a job. But 2-year-old don't understand that. It just knows that it's going to cry and scream and to stomp its little feet, and it didn't work. So what's the child to do? To blame herself. And so, oh my God, it must have been something I did. And I would watch how my siblings would get my mom all riled, and my mom would be upset. And okay, I wrote my little manual, don't do that. And then, what is make mom happy? Okay, I can do that. So there was a lot of different hidden rules and different things that I didn't know that I had put inside myself as a kid. So when people would say, oh, women talk on the phone too much, or women, it's all does this, I actually literally tired of being accused of stuff, so that I would end up really cutting it out. It was like cueing me to say, don't be that. Because I really would like your approval and your acceptance and your love. But did I know this consciously? No, nobody does.
No.
You know, I mean, there are some that are quite obvious, but most of the time it's not very obvious. It's just as part of growth. So when these 4 archetypes play with all of us, when we're talking about prostitute, we're not talking about sex. We're talking about, do you sell yourself short? Do you feel you can't take care of yourself And so somebody says, oh, don't look anywhere else, look over here. You can only get it from me. And what happens is you only look in one direction instead of turn around going, I don't need you, I can do this myself. So it's about that growth process of also not realizing that you can take care of yourself, but then working together as one. And that becomes a little interesting thing. So you went on your journey of having to find out what you're made of. Are you strong enough? Do you have to feel sad? You know,
Right, because the trip was originally planned to have another person participate in it, but that didn't happen, and there was no communication and that kind of thing. And so
how does one act when there's no communication?
and that I saw myself just that drives me bonkers. I recognize that would be a no for me to heal.
You heard that, folks. When something drives you bonkers, it's just your soul saying, oh, you see the pattern, you're losing life force, and now you get a chance to close it.
Right, and we had talked, because we had talked during the weekend, and part of it was how people, they have all the information, and everybody knows what's going on, but then I'm left out of the loop. And then they look at me like, well, why didn't you know that was happening? And so I think that was part of the program that was playing out was, okay, even though this person wasn't communicating and it was slowly driving me, it got me mad. But then it was like, I don't have to depend on that person. I'm here by myself. I'm a capable person. And then it turns out, once I said that this was a vision quest, it was really intentionally paying attention to every single detail that was playing out. Okay, so I ended up going to Milwaukee. So can I drive myself there by myself, navigate through the big cities? I'm from LA, so it shouldn't be that much of a big deal, but it's tricky around new cities and that kind of thing, and got myself there. And then I freaked out about like the parking cost, but then the way the universe played it out, there was a dead cockroach in my bathroom. Now this is a 4-star hotel, and so most people would, it was gross. And I was
like, take a picture of it.
She did. But I had people to lean on. I wasn't there, but I didn't feel like I was there by myself. I was physically there by myself, but I had the internet and I had my phone, so it's like, okay, hey, anybody got any ideas about this? And so you're like, well, take a picture and tell them what's going on. I'm like, well, I was going to have them clean it up anyway, because I wasn't going to sit there with a dead bug the whole entire weekend. So, and then I figured out what I wanted to do, so I went downstairs and I talked to the.
Were you nice or gruff?
I was nice. I went up to the registration desk and said, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, can I have housekeeping come to my room? They're like, "Why? What's going on?" I said, "Well, there's a dead roach in my room," and I took a picture, and the guy's like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get my manager. He used to be head of housekeeping, and now he's the night manager." He's like, "I'm gonna go talk to him right now." So he came out, and he's like, "Oh my."
Mortified.
He's like, I mean, this is a 4-star place, and he's like, "Oh my, really?" And he goes, "Can I see the picture?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I didn't really get close up because it was kind of gross." I said, "But you know the tile size in the bathroom, so you can actually gauge by the picture what the proportion." He goes,
look at this picture.
Oh yeah, it was a night. It was about
2, 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Couple inches, really.
And the antenna were like really gross. It was disgusting.
Was it on its back with its
Oh, it totally was. And so,
thank God you knew it was dead. It wasn't.
The manager was like, I said, "Well, yeah," I said, "It happens." I said, "That's that's part of life. We do have to interface with the insect world." He goes, "It doesn't happen here. This is not up to our standards." I'm like, "True.
All right, what are you gonna do?"
All right, what's going on?" He goes, What can I do to make this right?" I said, "Could you take off the cost of my parking? Because it was gonna be like $50 in the garage." And he's like, "Done. Okay. What else? Do you like wine?" I said, "I love wine. In fact, Merlot's my favorite. We're gonna have a bottle sent right up." He goes, "Are you hungry?" So he was like doing everything in his power to make it right. And I said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out over there, and then you guys will get it taken care of." He goes, "It's I'm calling them right now. It's gonna be taken care of right now." And so I'm like, "All right." And so I just went. I wasn't demanding. I wasn't mean about it because I trusted that they were gonna. I know how hotels work. I know them to take them at their word that that's what they're going to do. So I went and I hung out and had some...
But see, what's interesting is to notice how can one proceed with following the law of attraction versus physically forcing things to be done. You had prayed over your parking ticket.
I did the infinite love and gratitude because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Where should I park? Da, 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 da. And I just did intentionally praying over the ticket that it was going to be taken care of, and I just let it go.
And so, you know, when she says, thank you, universe, for arranging my day, it includes everything. So when she went downstairs, she wasn't going to be a bully unless she had to, but she just said, well, we have this little issue, and they're the ones that stepped up to the plate. Now, I know there's a big difference because I hadn't quite learned this, and I went to a couple of restaurants, and here it is. Oh yeah, my fish wasn't done. Oh, okay, well, I'll just remake a fish, or, you know, there was nothing marked off. And I have other people I've gone with that's gone to this nice restaurant, and they've gotten free meals because something wasn't on their plate, and they complained. And I'm thinking, I didn't even complain.
Well, we went out that one night, and I went and found the manager. It took a while, but I found the manager.
But finally, it's just about how you manifest. And see, there's a part of me as a kid you don't receive. And that's one thing I had to heal. But I also know, we had gone to another restaurant with our friends, and it was amazing because they gave me the wrong steak, and they cooked it wrong, but I didn't complain, but my other friend complained. And so we said something quietly to the maitre d' that was standing there, and we told him, and the next thing you know, the manager came over, and because I didn't blah, 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 and get mad and throw a fit, he gave my meal free. And I'm thinking, why me? Because he says, you didn't say anything, and I know that your plate was wrong too, because you said, you know, you didn't, I said something, but I said, don't worry about it, I'll eat what I've got. And apparently that wasn't good enough. No, you shouldn't have to be stuck eating what you got. So I got my meal was free. And so then the other person, they got a free meal to take with them. But we weren't really expecting anything. It's just that our meals were wrong. And that was strange for the first time to really receive. But if you allow yourself to go with the flow of spirit, it makes a big difference.
And then because Brenda puts up on our fan page, Medicine Women Reveal on Facebook, I knew that she goes through the animals and angels and other such things, and I knew I had seen Roach come up there before, so I went through the
that's right.
photo album to actually find out what the animal meant and how it was applying to the journey. So I looked at every single detail. I started it before I pulled out the driveway. Yes, I said, thank you, God and angels, for arranging the details of this trip. I'm following the angels. I know you're providing the way, and it will be taken care of. And it's a vision quest. Once I said that, then I knew as a vision quest to pay attention to every single detail. And so when it came up, I looked at what is the spiritual clue of this. I was in constant contact with friends on their journey and just looking at every detail, how I was approaching the trip, and this person eventually did contact me, and how was I going to interact with this person, and he decided to he wanted to make things happen. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not. The old me would have jumped and done this, that, and the other, but if I had followed that, I probably would have taken 10 steps back on my journey.
Oh gosh, yes, you would.
And then today it was smooth sailing on the way home, and so it was a great journey.
And so basically, one of the things that we do is understand it is what Einstein says: you can't solve the problem with the same mind that created it. So by taking and going into the spiritual mindset and knowing there's more to the story than what meets the eye, especially when she told herself this is a vision quest, and the next thing you know, there it was. Everything was started laying out before her, and so she found the strength within because she had great self-esteem. She didn't have to get the willpower to figure it out. And I really love that song. So, we were talking about how your vision quest, what was interesting about your vision quest is that, have you ever read the book Leadership and Self-Deception?
Yes.
And one thing I love about that book is this guy says, all right, he's got a kid and a wife, and he's working more than 40 hours a week. He's doing everything he possibly can, and now this big event happens to come up. It's going to pull away from his being home with his wife, and I can't remember if it was his son born or something like this. And so he has to go to this one place far away. And there's like 30 or 40 people that have to go to this meeting in this hotel. He gets there late. He ends up getting on a different floor. Everything was supposed to be, all the meetings on the 25th floor or something like that, and he was on the 15th floor, and he was just like, well, he didn't find out that there was food that was served all day, 24 hours around that place. Instead, he's had to go buy his own dinner and his own lunch, and he was mad that they didn't provide it. He was growling under his voice, and he would go to meetings, and he would work 24 hours, and they said, oh, how's that new update thing? He's like, what? Nobody told me. And he says, well, Bob, why weren't you at the meeting? Well, nobody told me. And so basically the boss just gave the assignment to somebody else, and this person goes, well, I did my best. And he says, no, that's fine. He says, but do you feel that you could be more involved? Like, come and find us, ask us questions, find out what the itinerary is. Did you check your emails? Any of these things. And pretty much he was just so mad that he had to be there that he basically was checking out of what his job is, even though he was doing the job 100%. He literally wasn't getting involved. The whole point of telling you this is, where is it that you could be more involved into your life?
Right.
Like with this person that you were supposed to meet up, you could be more involved. I mean, you were trying to respect space and the way he was having the conversation going, and in reality, just step up.
Right, and one of the things was he didn't have, something went wrong with his phone, and so he didn't, and so that's what he was saying and all this kind of stuff in the communication. So it's like, okay, that's fine if you're making excuses and you don't want to be part of it, that's fine.
But before that, before you even left, before you know, there was hardly any communication. It just seemed to work just fine when he had a lot to say. But as soon as, you know, you made a comment back, he just seemed to disappear.
Right. I got crickets.
Yeah, and the thing is, I understand you were respecting his space, but you know what? You got to know that you're worth it.
Exactly, and that's what I came away after. Once I told this person, nope, I'm not. You want me to do this, that, and the other thing when I've already arranged everything to be here? No, I'm not going to. It's too bad. That's a shame that it didn't work out. But I'm not leaving my situation. I'm not leaving my situation.
But see, they were asking one more thing. Just like when my husband was trying to sell the car, this guy came up and he says, "Well, I mean, this guy said he's superstitious or weird. Well, we call him weird. But he was sitting there saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with this," and we're like, "No, there's nothing wrong with it." And he kept trying to find something wrong when there was nothing wrong. And then he says, "Well, you got to do this." And this guy goes, "No, I don't have to do this. I don't even have to sell it to you." This
Right.
guy says, "Well, you got to do this." No. And then when finally,
so he was
Scott pushed
directing
away.
the situation.
Oh yeah. And when Scott says, "No, and go away, dude, I'm not selling to you," then he was emailing him. "Well, you need to do this and this and that." Well, then Scott says, made a comment back, "Okay, if you want it for this, I'll sell it to you for this." And this guy basically said, "Okay, great, but now you have to do this, this, and this for me." Scott says, "Nope, I do not have
I'm all
to do."
done.
And
Yeah, I'm
and
not
it's-
jumping through any more.
No.
Not jumping any more hurdles.
And you will find the right person to do what you need to do, be in your life, or whatever it is you need to do. But when you get one of those things that happen to your face, you don't have to go into reaction of losing it. You can just say, "Look, I've created a boundary. I don't have to do that." And be
I
proud of
felt-
the fact you stood up for yourself.
Exactly, and as I sent you that message, that after I cleaned that up and just said, "Nope, I'm done," it felt so liberating. I felt so free that I had made the right decision. I was done. I went on with the rest of my evening, and then, like I said, today was just smooth sailing. Checked out, got my stuff on the road. I mean, the roads were clear. I mean, it was amazing. The shift that took place after I honored myself, and that was the main thing that I came away from this vision quest, was the sense of feeling empowered. And I didn't fall into my old programs. I set the boundary and came away more empowered. And so that, I feel like that was a great point of the vision quest.
And the thing is did you lose anything? No. Did you lose any life force? Did you go into any old patterns? No. So I think somebody wrote something. I can't read it. I wish I could.
The black and gray is hard to see.
Yeah. So we're shifting gears.
Okay, but I'm sorry. It's just that I have hard time looking. So what's important is to understand how much do you get involved and how much do you lose yourself. I had an incident today on my other radio show, and what I've learned is that I had to heal that my mother really didn't teach me how to process emotion because she really couldn't. And so I've learned how to do it, so that became like helping people. I'm like the mother that you didn't have. So some people will expect me to, okay, since you're doing the mothering thing, we don't have to pay you. And it's like, no, that's not how it goes. And so I healed that out. And one of the remarkable things of what I healed today, or earlier, which showed up as proof that I had healed something, is at 3 years old, pretty much, I had mortification. I could feel my strength leaving me. And it is when people yell at me, like, shut up, or do other little things. Along the road, I had family members that I was driving back and forth, giving money to, doing little things. What ended up happening was I finally stood up and says, look, I'm 18 years old, I am not your mother, I do not need to take. So we're going to have really screwy videos, but that's okay. You may hear the story if you actually listen to the archives in Tindeck, considering I missed half of it on this video. But we do video record our shows.
Right.
All right, now somebody had typed a.
Let's see if I can.
You can
go
find
back.
it.
I'm gonna go back and see if I can get it.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay, so we've got a dream interpretation
Octarine.
From Octarine. So in my dream about you today, I assume she's talking Brenda, Scott brought me 3 computers to see if I could fix them. I was napping in a bed at the health food store. Oh my gosh, this typing technology thing. Okay. Okay. What? Where'd it go?
It's way at the top again.
No.
Because somebody just entered. Whenever somebody types something new, it brings all
Okay, there it is.
The screen.
Okay, there we go.
Get ready.
Okay,
Can you copy it? And then
I was napping in a health food store, and she woke me up. One was your daughter's and one was pink. The other I don't remember, but I cleared the cache, and then we took them to your house to plug them back in. Hey, look at that, I connected. There were 2 dogwood trees with kids and dogs in them, and there was a baby in a yellow caterpillar type outfit. Strange. The baby also had a very full diaper. That's funny. I had a dream the other day of my friend's baby that had a full diaper.
okay, so can you copy and paste this and open up
I
the
am
note?
going to make the best attempt that I can to do that while you are talking.
Okay, because I need to have all these because there's a lot of goodies here.
Yeah.
Most normally I can go on to
Right.
What do you need?
So
my telephone. That's what you see me doing in the thing. Go get my telephone so I can get
Oh my
online.
gosh.
Which telephone do you need?
The Droid. So what I like to do is I like to go into looking up these answers by picking certain words. Okay, you're not able to copy or paste anything?
I can get 1 word at a time.
No, don't do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I will take the gist of it then. You'll just have to...
I'll do my best to keep going.
So
back and forth.
Scott, first thing is that in your mind, who was Scott to you? In your dream, like give a couple words. Was he funny? Was he hero? Was he...
Heroic?
That's the word I can't say. So come up what you think real quick who he is. And then we're going to look up the number 3, which that's not my number book. That's what this is. Now 3, usually it means Trinity, and then let's find out what the angel says.
She said Scott was Scott.
Scott was Scott.
That's fabulous.
All
Hi,
right.
Scott. Okay, hey, Scott, you're Scott. Did you know Scott, you're
That's
Scott?
great.
All right, Scott will read number 3 then.
Number 3. The Ascended Masters are helping you. Usually this means an Ascended Master you feel close to. For example, Jesus, Kuan Yin, a saint, or some other spiritual religious figure. And I probably mispronounced the Chinese
You
guy's
did good.
name.
You did fine.
It's a lady.
It's a woman.
Oh,
Kuan Yin. But it is. It's Kuan Yin. You're
It's
fine.
the Asian
King
version of...
Yin or something. I don't
Kuan
know.
Yin is the Asian version of Mother Mary.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So now what are we?
Okay, so when you say, so Scott is being Scott, and maybe he's being an apprentice and funny guy or a helper or a reader, but that part of yourself, Scott is that aspect of you, and that aspect of you is helping you to know that there's other people that are helping. Now the computers I would represent, and I don't know if Jen can do more than one thing or not, but you can go to dreammoods.com.
Can she walk?
Can she
Walk
open
into
another?
bubble gum.
Typically, I can do more than
Can
one
you do
thing.
this? Rub your tummy and pat your
I
head?
was going to come up with something else, but I'll do
Oh,
something.
well, I do not want to hear that, Jen.
Oh,
Dream.
yes. I don't know
Dream.
that either.
Dreammoods.com is a really good source. But again, it's about how do you interpret it and with who you are. So I'm just going to have her look at the word computers. So
I'm
knowing,
looking at a computer right now.
yes, knowing.
Isn't that funny?
So we're going to look up the word soon as it works,
Mhm.
honestly.
So
All right, that
you're-
little button
you're-
you've typed.
Yep.
Computer.
Right.
And dream interpretation is understanding some of these key components. Anybody in your dream is you, and whether they are an authority figure, a helpful friend, a mother, and really say no. Say no to passwords. And just hit the back button, not sure what just happened.
Dream moods.
Yeah, and now okay, come on, work with us.
Now,
And the computers represent, are you playing, let's see, computer games? No. What did you just say?
programming.
Computer. To see a computer in your dream symbolizes technology, information, and modern life. New areas of opportunities are being opened to you. Alternatively, computers represent a lack of individuality and lack of emotions and feelings. Too often, you are just going along with the flow without voicing your own opinions and views. You may also feel a depreciated sense of superiority.
Alright, so I'm just going to take it from this point. Scott is that part of yourself that you are fitting in, you're learning, you're growing, this is new to you, and there's a part of you that, yes, it's great to know that you have help, and you're learning to connect, and you're using the language that is what you need to use, okay? Because I know you have a voice. You have a voice and you do say what you have to say. But in this case, there's a part of you that doesn't able to use your voice when you are with people, alone with people. Some people might have certain authority. So if you can try to figure out how to scroll that just a little bit and go back, it says
To which part?
Second
the
one
first,
is-
no,
oh,
the
first one
first,
right there.
first batch.
Computers to see if you could fix them. I was napping
Okay.
in bed at the health food store, so that
Okay, now
changes.
just stop.
from
Don't let it
computer.
move. Don't let it move. So the thing is to fix them. And there's a part of you that's learning how to fix your communication and the way you're processing information. And then you were taking a nap. So go to Dream Moods and hit nap and see what that says. And food represents the way you nourish yourself. Being at the store, there's a whole variety of way of nourishing yourself.
In a health food store.
So, there's some nourishing ways. And a nap represents suggestions that you need to take a little time to relax and take it easy, to give yourself a break. So as you're learning how to process this new information, how to get connected and communicate differently, you have to take and give yourself a break and nourish yourself healthily without denigrating yourself, without like if you look at today's show of trying to get it going, and the last few shows of trying to get it going, it is a new pathway, and we could really be going, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And constantly being mad at ourselves.
And also getting frustrated at this process and wanting to give up and just throwing in the towel, chucking it, but we've been chugging along. And
But there is a part of her that knows that she can do this. She has the confidence. That's the Scott part of her, that aspect of her, and knowing that, yes, it can be taken care of. So learning how to nourish yourself. Now, so go back up to...
So one was your daughter's and was pink. The other I don't remember.
Okay, so my daughter had a computer. Is that what she said?
Yeah, one
Pink
was
one.
yours, one was your daughter's, and your daughter's was pink.
Okay, so now you're looking at the feminine side of you,
The female
the
voice.
female voice. And now as far as communicating with, now it depends on how you see me in your dream, and the daughter as well. So if you see my daughter is just a little learning, or she's very helpful, if you see me as a higher self, or you see me as somebody that can get to cut to the chase of it, however it is you see me, okay? Now pink represents that passion, the healing part, and the flirting and the happiness.
I think it's also, is that also Christ consciousness?
It
too?
is Christ consciousness and Christ healing. So what she's learning is to tap into the feminine part of herself so that she can be soft, so that she can be allowing herself to be more open and receptive, because the male side of her is doing her best to fix it, and the female side needs to be corrected. I don't know if it does or not. Let's read a little bit further.
So this is the next part of it. Then we took them to your house to plug them back in. So you came to a wellness center to
Okay.
recharge the computers.
Yes. Okay, so if they're going to come in balance, because you got 3 computers, okay, so you're going to be coming in balance and learning to communicate with each part of yourself, the younger self, the adult self, and the male side.
Do
So
you
you're
want to go on to
plugging
the
in,
do you wanna go-
recharging.
Do you want to go to the next part yet?
Yes, there are 2
Dogwood
dogwood
trees
trees.
with kids and dogs in them.
Okay, with kids. So
We'll just, yeah.
I would take and go the word trees and look up trees, because there is individual trees that have, but I don't think I have any dogwood meaning over there, no. So we're just going to take the meaning of trees, because there are trees that have individual emotional meanings, and right now I don't think on my list over there I have a dogwood. Did you type in the word?
Yes, she did. That's
Ah,
right
there we
now.
go. How about if we see just, we got lots of trees, but I don't see a
No
dog
dogwood.
word. Okay, so look for tree.
Trees. To see lush green trees in your dreams symbolize new hopes, growth, desire, knowledge, and life. It also implies strength, protection, and stability.
Cool.
You are concentrating on your own self-development and individuation, so that makes it different. That corresponds to the computer thing about being no individuality. So then now you're getting to the point, once you recharge them at this place, when you plug them back in here, she can get to the point of the individuation.
You're right, she can plug into hope, she can plug into making sense of her world.
And your unique voice.
Exactly. Okay,
So to
what-
see bare trees.
I think that's all. What else is there?
To see. Well, she said there was dogs and kids in them. To dream that you're climbing a tree signifies achievement of your career goals and attainment of higher positions in life. The speed at which you climb the tree will parallel the speed of your achievement to these goals. And that's.
And so for kids, it's about that innocence, meaning you don't take with you that bad example. Innocence, the kids do not have bad things that occur to them, so they're freeing, they're loved, they're in that play form. So you're allowing yourself to be plugged in, find a new hope, and the dog's about loyalty, and you're learning to be loyal and innocent and going forward into the new adventure without having to bring all the excess baggage of your hell. So you can learn to be loyal to yourself. What else does it say?
And then there was a baby and the yellow caterpillar. So the baby was dressed in a yellow caterpillar type outfit.
So the baby is birth, it's new, it's growing. The yellow is that courage or
sun.
fear, and now I have my husband look up the word caterpillar, and it'll be under insects, which is bad
Kids-
on birds.
Kids and dogs were hiding in the tree branches laughing.
Hiding, that's cute.
Say, good luck and new birth are at hand. Take a gentle and quiet approach to endeavors. Be realistic and shed the old.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Which may have been why the baby had a full diaper, shedding the old.
Yes, and it is time to change your diapers. Time to change that stuff that no longer serves, and let the shit go.
Just let it go. You've processed.
Let it go. You process that
You
out.
don't need to hang it onto it.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You can use disposable diapers. We'll give you permission. We're doing really good. We're getting back on track, and we answered that. Was there anything else that goes on in there? And Octarine, we can heal that. She says I'm lousy at dream interpretation. Well, I've done it enough now that.
Well, it's understanding that each thing, person, place, thing in the dream,
Represents something.
it's you. You are every aspect of it because it's your dream. And then that dream moods is great. Using the angel numbers, using the animal, and then
Message
just
body book, all of that.
exactly. And so just understanding all. Then you get the actual pieces of the puzzle. You're like, okay, this means this, and this, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is totally what I'm working on right now. Yep, that's spelled out in the dream.
And what's interesting is that most of the time when your spirit guides really, really, really want you to learn, then pay attention. You know, if they can't get you into a sensual dream, then they'll scare the hell out of you. Because they're trying to get you to wake up to remember what they've just told you. Several times, like tornadoes are nothing to be scared about. when one time I had a dream that I kept running from this guy that was trying to chase me, and really it was misunderstanding of what was really being done. And when I finally started to interpret that this person don't want to kill me, and then when I finally finished the dream, it was like weeks later, this person was trying to hand me something that I lost. But my interpretation of how this guy looked scary,
They're
it was in the
chasing
dark,
you.
every
Why is this person wanting me?
exactly, and then that's that little girl in me. I was like, oh, so there's always more to the story than what meets the eye, and that's good to do that.
Failed English once. Well, here's the other thing about that.
I suck at rules.
I barely graduated high school, got through by the
Hair of your chin,
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 chin.
and now you got hair to chin. No.
and then now I've got
Just
a
picking at
master's
it.
degree. So I mean,
Yeah.
and so my English teachers were less than desirable as far as teaching all the rules, and so people say, oh, this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, oh, that would have been nice to know 20 years ago.
Yeah, and what I had to do was because I was a kinesthetic. They want you to visually see it, and they want you to hear it, and they want you to do it. And for me, I had a lot of, like I said, issues when I was talking about in the earlier show, was I related learning English to something scary that happened in my world. So when I go to learn the rules and follow the rules, something happens in my brain, which can be healed and changed. But it is feeling what is that meaning when you look at, what does this mean? I have to feel it, or else I can't retain the rule. And what's funny about words is because when it comes to words and how you use them in the past, present, and the future, how I've been trained in this, or Spirit has trained me, I can catch the vibration because I can feel it, that it's too far out of sync, or it's too far in the past, or you need to rebalance yourself because you're losing, power. So I have a different set of English rules. And it's funny because these two here help me out a lot, thank God. So I don't always have to look like a fool when I'm writing stuff.
And I'm still learning because the hardest thing is that prepositions have now become commonly used at the end of a sentence, where the original rule is you don't have, or participle, you don't have a dingling participle, which reminds me of the movie Clue with Tim Curry. No, it was a different movie with Tim Curry. But English, and so you've got a dingling participle. Where's that? So, but or ending ending sentences with of or at or that kind of thing, and so it's become part of the vernacular. It's commonly used. It doesn't mean that it's correct, but it's commonly used. So then that is something of which I'm talking about.
But I did what she did.
Well, the thing is, if it becomes commonly used, then it will become the correct usage. That's how language changes over the generations.
Right, but everybody wants to be sticklers, and you have
Sticklers?
whatever. You have the police coming at you.
Sticulars?
Not to sticulars, no. And Octarine says,
What are we talking about?
She says, funny thing was, the next year I was placed in the honors class. Now, what's funny is I did that too. Never did figure that one out. I made A's and B's that year. The difference in teaching style made all the difference. I went from high school to college. And I'll tell you, when I got to college, he was a cutie professor. But he's he goes, write this. And I'm like, I wrote it just like I did in high school. And he says, oh, that's wonderful. And I'm getting A's back. And I'm like, what did I do to just one summer? Did I sleep on a dictionary or something? And then after that, I can't seem to write for nothing. I don't know what happened to that.
Well, ebb and flow. Yeah, I mean, I graduated college with practically a 4.0 in 2 honor societies, and then went off to get my master's degree, and never thought that I would graduate high school. Because it was my attitude at the time also.
What's neat about getting older